Namaste and Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam series, Power of Fearlessness, Abhay. Pranam to Guruji, Hariharji Maharaj for his blessings, guidance, and Shri Krishna Bhagwan Ji for bringing us together. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam, blissful living. How to live in this world and still live to the fullest and experience who am I, Sat Chit Anand. And whatever you see on this page, all these bestsellers on Amazon are all guidance and blessing from gurus, from Bhagwan Ji. And these videos, programs are also posted on YouTube channel where we have more than 600 videos now. So you can watch whenever you feel like, and you can also share with your loved ones. Fearlessness. So fearless and fearlessness is the path to Ananda. For union of body, mind, and soul. In Gita, it is called as abhayam. Before we move forward with that, we have to understand what is fear. Because we all experience and have some kind of fear here and there. So what type of fear do we have? And what does this fear do to us? And how can we transform fear into fearlessness? So we will discuss our favorite 3 AAA strategies, their benefits, and not benefit what we experience spiritually, but with the data, with the medical benefits. And what kind of practices can we have? And our Sankalpa, I rise beyond fear. And our homework with the tip of the day and meditation, I am fearless. So what is fear? We all have experience of that, but I thought I should highlight it. That it is the main barrier to our happy, healthy, and peaceful life. But it is a natural response to any danger we face. It arises when we sense threat or any harm. But it is short-lived. But sometimes it is long-lived. But momentarily fear, when we see a snake and the snake is gone or we move away, the fear is gone. So it is a body's natural safety alarm system. And it prepares us to fight or flee ourselves. Like if we see a snake, what can we do? If we start jumping on us, we might have a stick and we might fight with it, or we run away from it. So it prepares us to fight or flee. So it is the only as deep as the mid we allow. So it's not that it's a long lasting, we have a control on it. But it is our fear, which is our enemy. And Gandhiji said that enemy is the fear. We think it is hate, but it is really the fear. So that's what our greatest enemy is. So as in Shri Krishna Bhagwan Ji helped Arjun to overcome this fear. So we are going to use these teachings up from Bhagavad Gita, that how Arjun was transformed from fear to faith, through the faith to the action and experience his own duty. So the type of fears, how many type of fears are? It could be real. As I explained, if there is a snake, it's a real fear because we are not used to it. Or it could be unreal. It could be just a possible, emotional, or it could be phobia. So it could be physical fear, which is threat to our safety, our health, or our survival. We have to be very careful what we eat, how we live, because certain things have happened to us and it had given us some fear about our health, also about our survival. And then it is an emotional fear. Sometimes we get rejections from some people or some situations, or sometimes we fail in our life and then we have that fear to get involved with that activity again because we have a fear of failing again. Or sometimes the loneliness. This is the biggest one nowadays. In fact, lately the report came in Japan, several hundred people died and nobody knew for 3 weeks that they died because they were lonely. So this loneliness fear is a very big fear, especially for the seniors. And then mental fear. Sometimes we just self-doubt ourselves. Can I do it? I cannot do it. Or would I have a, sometimes we lose control of our Vani, sometimes control of our driving, sometimes control of holding certain things and falling. All these fears turn into phobia. And then we have a spiritual fear. Fear of death. Many people have that. In fact, a study shows that more than 90% people have the fear of death. And also fear of letting go of many things, especially our children. You know, we say if we let them go in terms of not bothering them, not guiding them, etc., then we kind of feel fearful that how would they perform? But we know that they are adults and we have to let go. And fear of ego, myness, I-ness, I am so and so. These are my things. If I separate myself from these things, how would I manage? So these are also all these real fears. But I thought in order for us to understand all these fears, I prepared this chart because all fears are not bad. And these are the different type of fears. I just put it there here. So what are the healthy fears, unhealthy fears, and what are the phobias? Because many fears turn into phobia. So healthy fear, it protects us from real danger. We have to walk carefully. That's a real fear that we should not just walk recklessly. Short-term and manageable. So it is a short-term and manageable. And it motivates us. It gives us a precautions that take, and we should be careful about it. So it's a safety zone for us. Example, fear of touching fire. We know that fire is hot, and if we touch it, we will burn ourselves. And we teach children also the same thing, don't touch fire when they are little, etc. At the same time, there are unhealthy fear. Why? Because it irritates us, it overwhelms us, and it prevents us from our regular day-to-day living. Because if I say, okay, I don't want to go these places, I don't want to drive, I don't want to do walk, I don't want because of certain situations. So it affects day-to-day living. I know one young girl, she's in our neighborhood, in fact, and she fell down. And her treatment, her therapy took longer, and walking with walker was one of the remedy for her. And now it's 2 years. She's okay. Doctor says she can walk, but she does not walk without walker because she has developed a phobia. Phobia is some emotional barriers. Or sometimes people don't want to leave home because they have certain type of phobias. But actually the phobia and the fear, there is a fine line, or there is some difference. Fear is mainly, it's a momentarily, it's a short-term live. But phobia, it lasts longer. It just goes into our subconscious mind in deeper. And it stays there, though it might be unreal fear. It's triggered by specific situations or objects. It interferes with our daily life. Example, and I put some examples here. Fear of elevators. Many people have the fear of these high places, and they don't want to go into elevators. Claustrophobia is one of them. People feel they have phobia about going into closed places. Though it's a real phobia, but it affects their life, and it's very difficult to get out of it. I have my own experience with that, and it took me a long time to get out of it. But it requires a lot of practice. But one thing for sure, these fears are unhealthy. Projection of subconscious mind. In other words, these are the illusions. And as Mary Curry said, nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. So we have to understand here that someone has a fear of spiders. And I know some people scream. Some people have a fear of little bugs. I know when we had some bugs and our grandkids were there and they were screaming. And I was the one who was picking up the bugs and just, taking care of them. So these are the fears. And then many people have the fear of flying. I know one of my cousins, he doesn't even get into the plane. He says, I just can't deal with it. Those closeness of the planes and the flying up and all these things. So he doesn't even fly. So many people have fears, and I'm sure we all know someone who might have that kind of fear, or we know ourselves. We should understand what are our fears. So I thought I should put here all the, now, not just the abstract of it, but the real physiological process of fear and effect of it. So what happens when we are in some situation, or we momentarily see something and get into the situation? We all experience that our body, we say it, mere haath paun thande ho gaye. What happens to the body when the signal of this fear goes in the body? Then our mind, our body releases ACTH. This is one of the hormone, comes from the adrenal gland here. which turns into cortisol. And the cortisol level, which is, I always say, is a toxin, is a poison in the body. And it gives a stress. Further, this is a stress hormone. So cortisol, adrenal glands get activated. Cortisol is released, the poison is released. Now this poison is flowing all over in the body with our bloodstream. So what happens? Muscles get tense, blood pressure goes high, our physiological systems shut down, like our heartbeat goes up, and sometimes we freeze, we can't even think about it. And in long term, our immune system is compromised. We can't breathe at that time, the shortening of the breath happens. And all these symptoms have been studied by Columbia University, by Stanford, by Harvard, and there are many publications on this. So this happens to our body, but with the stress, we develop anxiety, confusion, lack of focus. This is a long-term effect. We get worried and we can't sleep at night. Poor sleep, insomnia, and many times if it stays longer period of time, it turns into depression. So one of the things I thought I should focus this muscle tension. Why it says fight or flight or freeze. We all have those experiences. So when we feel some threat, we want to run away. For example, Arjun in Bhagavad Gita, when he saw how the whole Kurukshetra field is now designed, all the Sena is ready to fight, and he was one of the leader of the fighting from the Pandava side. He didn't want to fight. He wanted to fly. He wanted to run away from there. And he gave many reasons, because his body froze. He in fact sat down on the back of the charioteer and he couldn't do anything anymore. And that's where he prays to Bhagwanji, because his soul was disconnected from himself, that he was the best warrior, but he forgot about it because all these hormones overtaken his body. All the bad hormones came there. His body was totally dysfunctional at that time. In other words, he was totally disconnected. He couldn't understand anything else other than he could not fight. So it is unhealthy, unhappy, and no peace in life. And what happens? No peace, unhealthy. It is called disease, D-I, dis-ease. So there is a disease, discomfort, and discomfort leads to the diseases. And then, of course, we are disconnected from ourselves, from Almighty, from God, from divine. So what should we do? I thought we should understand fear before we can go into fearlessness. Because the importance of fearlessness is all the problems come with fear. So we have to free ourselves from this fear. And the remedy is to become a fearlessness. So what is the fearlessness? It is a state of mind where one is calm, courageous, and steady, even in the face of challenges, or danger, or uncertainty, or certain. If we see a snake, we say, okay, that's okay, don't worry about it. We can manage, we can walk away or whatever. We are not jumping up and down. We are just calmly handling the situation. So in other words, when we are fearlessness, we are calm and we can handle the situation a lot more calmly. And it is also said that not the absence of fear, but rising above it. So fearlessness is not living in the fear, but going beyond it. It gives us an inner strength. Even though the fear is there, situation is there, but we are more equipped with our courage. And it is rooted in our subconscious and faith. So little by little, it gets into our subconscious mind. It removes the fear. And it gives us the clarity, peace, and freedom. And in Bhagavad Gita, this is known as divine quality, Devi Sampat. And it is the very first word of the first verse of Bhagavad Gita. Abhayam Satyam Sanchya Shuddhim Gyan Yog Vivastita. So Abhayam Satyam Shuddhi Gyan Yog Vivastita. So it's the Abhay. It's a fearlessness. It equals to living with clarity, courage, and compassion and calmness. And this is what happened. This is a good example when Arjun learned that he had the fear. Bhagwanji motivated him and he became Abhay, fearless. And he took his bow and arrow and he says, let's go. Karishye vachanam tav. I will do as you advise. So it is not a reckless act. It is acting with wisdom and detachment and following our dharma. So fearless is not absence of fear, but it is the mastery over the fear. So well said. It's such a powerful tool. So then how to develop it? How to cultivate fearlessness? And then we go back to our AAA strategy here, that we should be aware if I have any fear. And 99% people have some kind of fear. So we should be aware of our own fear and make a list of it. And I always put this red book I have shown many times, this red diary. I make a list of the things and I just put it inside of it and I reflect back on it. And then we should accept it. We should not suppress it. We should not be embarrassed about it. If I have a fear, I have a fear. We don't have to talk about it if we don't want to, but we must accept it. And then not just accept it, because accepting is a 50% of solving the problem. But then we have to have an action to replace fear with courage, faith, and spiritual practices. And then say, I can do it. Have a positive attitude and cultivate our self-confidence. But at the same time, we should have a company of the people or the social media, or do not promote those things, but help us. Read some books, even the eating proper food. Sometimes we eat the very tamasic food, which gives us a more bad hormones in our body and creates a fear for us. And actually the study shows, this is a good one, 98% of the situation versus 2% happening. So 98% situation may not even happen, only 2% happen, but for the 2%, we compromise our health, our happiness. So in order to do that, we also need a support system. If there are some situations, we should ask for help or take a medical help or take a little steps one by one. And I want to just give you an example here. Because here, you can see fear, Basically, we are standing here and then we have to drop this fear gradually or forcefully, but we have to let go. And here it says, we should have a faith. Anyanas chintanto mam ye jana parupaste tesham nitya bhukta yam yog shemam mahamyaham. Bhagwan Ji says, to those who always think of me and worship me with exclusive devotion, I carry that whatever they are missing and preserve what they have. So have faith. So one must have faith in oneself and Almighty. So don't fear, because God is in control. And I just want to share one example to set all these points, to rephrase it. And this is, I usually speak about my own experiences, because bringing somebody else's experience, I cannot really feel that and share it. So few months back, I was in car accident. All of a sudden, my car went on the sidewalk and hit the tree, and I did not know what happened. I got so concerned. I came home, even though a car was drivable. I came home, and my biggest fear was, I didn't know it happened. So what happened? What happened to my brain? Did I go to fall asleep? Did I have some kind of a stroke? What happened? I mean, why? And what I did for that, I developed some phobia. I was very reluctant to drive, fearful, thinking about that, and it was kind of developing more and more phobia about it. And actually, I did not drive for 3 weeks, for whole month. But what I did was, I went to the doctor. I took the support from here. It said, take medical help. I went to see the doctor, discussed that with him, and he finally assured me there was nothing wrong with me, and because he looked at all of the things I do, and he says, no, you were not in a stroke. Maybe you drowsed at that time, could be because you were tired, and maybe you fell asleep a little bit, but whatever it was, but it's not something long-lasting effect. But I could not get out of it. So I started taking little steps, one by one, and start driving around. Then I start driving a little bit more on the streets. And then finally I went to the freeways. However, doctor told me, be careful not to drive too much at night or long drives. So I'm taking all those precautions, but I'm having a patience, and I'm still coming out of it. So what it says, one should have a faith, full faith. Yes, I have immediately, my thought was, nobody else got hurt, and I did not get hurt to the point where it could be more detrimental. So it was a divine play which God saved me. But at the same time, I took all these precautions. I become aware, I took the action, I accepted the problem, and I talked to some other people as a support system. I went on online, because Tesla, I also noticed that Tesla has this problem, and it could be a problem of the Tesla, not me. Okay, so I did all that analysis, went to the doctor. So in other words, we have to analyze, we have to take the action, and do not just live in that phobia, and little by little come out of it and have a patience. So what are the benefits? Medical benefits and spiritual benefits. What does the science say about it? First thing it says that with the body, when it lowers the blood pressure, heart rates, stress hormones, when all this happens, it helps to come back to bring the blood pressure and the heart beats properly. And all these stress hormones, actually, study shows that with all these practices, our mind is the one which is more affected. Body is, of course, but mind is the one, and the mind needs to be, our subconscious mind needs to be now brought it back, cleanse it, reduce the anxiety. So that's what it does, fearlessness. It does the neuroplasticity of the mind. So here, where my mind becomes cluttered with all these concerns and fears, and then with little by little, brain is getting rewired, and now I'm here, one can come back to the normal state and then feel the peace, compassion, and elevation of our consciousness. So basically, it connects the body, mind, and soul. And it teaches us, follow your dharma. As I mentioned before, Arjuna finally says, Karishe Vachanam Tau, because he was out of fear. So it takes us to the wellness of our body, mind, and soul. And the study also shows, yes, this Devi Sampad Vimokshaya. Gita says, Devi Sampad Vimokshaya, fearlessness is equals to well-being. And study also shows that it improves heart, health, blood pressure, everything. So it is not just a virtue, but it is also a revitalizer, rejuvenator. So it is a key to our inner freedom. So our practices. Here, Lao Tzu said, he who conquers others is strong. He who conquered himself is fearless. So we have to become the fearless here. We have to conquer ourselves with these practices, with this daily planner. From morning, start our day with prayers, Om mantra. Or take one part here, that here is a fearlessness, is one of the divine quality here. Just whatever resonates with us, start our day with taking care of the body, mind. In other words, doing yoga or exercises, pranayam, and then calming down by meditation. And during the day, we should practice, make the best use of our senses, and then live in fearless consciousness. Whatever mantra works or one practice works, but we should continue to practice that. And then this fearlessness purifies our mind, rewrites the pre-programming of the mind, and it transforms us. And we experience that I am not alone. I am with supreme power. And also I am that pure divinity. God is with me. And then experience who I am. So before going to bed, just continue to practice, and take few minutes of thinking about and just evaluating how did I do it. And then pray to God for giving us the strength to do it better next day. And stop saying, yes, I have this fear, I have this fear. So affirmation that I am fearless. I'm working on it. Have a faith in yourself, because Bhagwan Ji says, Sarv dharman paritajye mamekam sharanam braj aham tvam sarpapebhyo mokshashyami majute. And then just come to me. I will take care of it. You are not alone. You and I are one. So our Sankalpa is, I rise above fear. I trust myself and divine play. So happy, healthy, and peaceful life we can experience little by little on this path, because by taking that Sankalpa, our Man se indriya gramam, our man, buddhi, everything gets purified, and little by little, again, shanai shanai uppar mein buddhya buddhi grahita. Atma sanchas, here, little by little, but Atma Sanchaya, we have to continuously not doubt, but continually practice, 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 and not kinchit api chintet, not thinking about anything else, but focusing on our goal. So our homework is, again, do I know the purpose of my life? What am I afraid of? Where did this fear arise? How did I respond to it? Is this fear real or imagined? Is this fear helping me or is it limiting me? And then continuously do our spiritual practices. Yoga, pranayama, meditation, selfless service. And let go, surrender. Because fear is death. Swami Vivekananda says, fear is death. Fear is sin. Fear is hell. Fear is unrighteousness, adharma. And fearlessness is life. It is truth. It is God. And also Buddha said, a man who is not afraid of anything, not even of death, can truly live. So be fearless, not fearful. Abhay, av na bhavbit. So let your faith be bigger than your fear. And yesterday I put a beautiful poem here. Abhay. भय ने आकर दरवाजा खटखटाया, मेरा दरवाजा खटखटाया, मैं मुस्कुराई, उसने सिर झुकाया, आंधियां उठे, छाया घिर जाए, फिर भी मन मेरा ना घबराया, आस्था भीतर दीप जलाए, भय मिटे, आत्मा मुस्कुराए, मैं निर्भय हूं, मैं दिव्य आत्मा हूं, हर श्वास में प्रकाश पूर्ण हूं. Om Shanti, 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 Shanti. So thank you very much for attending the session, Power of Fearlessness, and then experiencing healthy, happy, and peaceful life.